Yo, what's good, everybody? How's everybody doing? Welcome to another BizzyWorks LLC live stream. And then I also wanted to do an iced out video, or like essentially, what is it called? Like a Pave video, where it's basically the entire surface is covered with Pave. So we're gonna go over exactly how to design that and how to do something like that. What we're gonna be using is Blender. That's what I use mostly for freeform modeling. So we're gonna use that, and we're just gonna go through that process. I'm Salo the jeweler, by the way. It's nice meeting y'all, nice vibing with y'all. So, all right, we're gonna move forward from here. Basically, this is the mask right here. These are the side views of it. And all I did was I just took, some screenshots of it and kind of like line them up with each other. And the way that you would do that is you would just go to add image background, but you will want to be in the view that you want the image to be in, because that's where it'll project. You want to turn it on orthographic. That way, if I go to a perspective view, so say that I, shift and I want to turn the model around, look at it, it doesn't show up there. But if I go back into an orthographic view, boom, it's right back and it's showing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add mesh, and I'll add a plane. That's just kind of how I am. We're going to rotate it around the x-axis 90 degrees, like so. And that's our plane right there. We have our x-ray on, so let's turn off our x-ray. Just doing that to see how to line everything up. And what we're going to do is we're going to press tab, go into edit view, right? Subdivide this. Just right there. And now I'm going to take these other vertices and actually just delete them. So I'm going to take these, delete these vertices. So I'm going to go to tab, then I'm going to go to, where are you? Yeah, mirror modifier. And we're going to mirror across that x-axis. We're also going to want to see those datums within the, or once we go back in edit mode, right? For the clipping, we do want it to clip, and we do want it to merge within 0.001 meters. So let's go tab back into edit view, or click it, tab back into edit view. And now we have something to work with. I'm going to essentially go into that x-ray mode. But now what I'm going to be doing is I'm essentially going to take some of this and bring it down. Actually, well, yeah, I need to bring all this down. So I'm going to grab, oh Lord. I'm going to grab this like so, bring this down, grab it again. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get the general shape of the mask. Grab this. Let's see. And now I'm going to take that and this, and we are going to extrude. And again, we're still in our orthographic view, right? So everything is just on a single plane right now, which I mean, it's fine. It's fine. We're about to change all that in a sec and give this some dimensionality. So from here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys something real quick, because the thing is, for clean topology, we definitely want to keep using squares as often as possible, right? So I'm going to click M to merge at the center of them. And then this face right here, we're just going to click F to make that a face, right? And so this is still a polygon. We do have a point right here that has, like, it has a little bit more control, but that's fine. So now that I have that, I want to put in some of these lines that we're going to need to go across with. And what I want to do is I'm probably going to do knife cut right here. Okay, so now from here, I'm just going to move these vertices more to, like, make the outline of where the nose is going to be, how that's going to kind of loop in on itself and turn around and kind of make the eyes. And you see, like, yeah, so now I'm like kind of thinking about the brow, how that plays into it, how this is going to play into it. So we're going to need another knife cut right here. And you see right here we have a triangle. We're actually about to take care of that right now. And the way that we're going to do that is, again, with the knife cut. Now we can start adding some three-dimensionality to it. We are going to do proportional editing, and yeah, we're gonna click this vertex, which is the nose, grab it. We should scale up our proportional editing. And yeah, that's gonna be on the nose about right here, correct? So I can bring that like right there. I'm gonna grab this one, which let's check to see, yep, it's our center one. We'll go back. And essentially, as you can see, we're like popping out the mask. We're taking certain points and using proportional editing. And let's remember where that was. That was, okay, the center roof. So now we're gonna grab that. You know, and okay. So we're getting there, slowly but surely. Yep, and so now we're approaching that general mask shape that we were looking for, right? And now we can start like doing subdivides and everything. We just want to make sure that it looks good. On a low poly version before we scale up like the complexity, right? So it's like before I go in and really just kind of like sculpt stuff, I kind of want to have that really nice, the topography down, right? Like that really nice topography. And the reason why I'm taking so much time to kind of play around with this low poly mode is because essentially once you go up to higher poly counts and everything, it's essentially just going to be a smoothened out version of whatever this is, and then it's actually harder to fix the issues. This gives me a really, really, really nice starting point. Okay. So now what I want to do is I also want to add a subdivision surface. Or do I want to apply the mirror modifier first? I think I do want to apply the mirror modifier first. Yeah, let's do that subdivision surface and let's just see what it looks like so far. Okay. And let me go into tab and let me do the whole shade auto smooth. But anyways, it's starting to really look like that mask, right? Let's go ahead and actually change it to this. Mainly because these are our eyes, correct? Yes. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to E to extrude, S to scale, those are gonna be the inside of the eyes. Now, E to extrude, yep, extrude back a little bit, S to scale. Okay. So I'm going to, instead of having the eyelid, I am going to have like somewhat of probably some metal that's coming out or around the eye. So I think leaving it like this for right now at least is fine. If I need to go back in and do some extra junk to achieve a certain vision, then I will. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this, make a version where, yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy this, make a version where it's, bet. copy this, make a version where it's the mask, where it's just the shallow side. And with that, I just have to cut away, and then I'm just gonna create copies of those and then combine those, right? And then I'm just going to Shift D, right click, and then this one is gonna be mask, no feather part. Whatever, no feather part. Okay. Just less headache if I just go ahead and type it, you know? So this is the mask feather part, mask no feather part. Let's go ahead into the mask no feather part. Let's click tab. And now what we're gonna do is we are going to do some cannibalism. So what I'm doing is I'm just finding which points are necessary to maintain the topology that I have going, but are also important points. Like you know, like basically they keep the topology going. So if I cut them off right here, it won't affect the mask as much, like the shape and the proportionality of the mask. And as you can see, it didn't affect the mask too drastically. There are some parts that we need to kind of, well, actually this entire freaking top part. Okay. And so this is the other side of the mask. And let me turn on this. So yeah, so it does somewhat follow. We need to make it to where these certain points, they also fall along that mask, right? So, and we are still in edit mode, so let's go ahead and do that. Going to, I guess I'm gonna have to turn off the smooth and the subdivision. Yeah, I'm going to also get rid of the subdivision, get rid of the smoothing, and now I'm gonna do the same thing for this. Apply the mirror, get rid of the subdivision, get rid of the smoothing, and now going to go into the design and go in, yeah, see all of the vertices, and I'm just going to select all the vertices on this side, including this, and delete vertices, boom, tab. All right, now I'm gonna go into the other one, right, tab, and now all the vertices on this end, all those, select all of these, this, and this. I'm going to delete these vertices. Boom. Click tab. Okay. So now I should have one side like this, one side like this. All right, cool. So now I can take both of these, or no, this and this, only these two, and click Control J to join them. What we can also do, another thing that we can do, is we can actually go to face selection, and we could just delete those faces, right? Create the faces. F. So all these vertices are literally in the right place. F. Hey, nice one piece again, right? Smooth. Control S to save. Let's pop back into the tab and let's add our subdivisions. Let's bring that to 2. Let's also shade auto smooth, right? Okay, yeah, that's all we need. All right, so now let's go ahead and apply that modifier, and that looks sexy. So add a modifier, we're gonna add solidify, and we are going to increase that thickness by, it don't matter. I guess 1 is okay. We'll leave that how that is, and let's just see how we're doing. We did well. We did okay. Oh, do I want to go with the David Yurman look and have like, you know how he has essentially a rope around a pattern and everything? I kind of essentially want to do that. So first, let's go ahead and create the Bezier curve that the shape is going to be around, right? And the way to do that is we probably, yep, we're going to have to grab these vertices all along here. Or let's see if we can do a loop grab and just grab as many of these as we can. Shift D to duplicate. And P separate. Selection. Boom. Now if we go in a tab, we should have, yes, yep, the outline, which is exactly what we want. Now with this outline Bezier, what we want to do is take it and convert it to a curve. And what that did was it just converted it into a Bezier curve. Actually, I don't think that's what he did. He added a circle like this. Yes, something like that. Went into tab mode, grab this, move it up the Y direction, and do it like that. And Shift D, duplicate, whatever, Shift D, duplicate. All of this ish right here, it just gotta go. It's just gotta go, chat. Just gotta go. Or, no, it's fine. These, delete these vertices. It's gots to go, chat. It's gots to go. All right, cool. Now I'm gonna select these, merge these at the center of these. Same for this. M to merge at center. And then same for these. M to merge at center. Boom. He did a screw, right? Like screw you, right? So now generate screw. Okay, so this increases the size of the screw or how far, and oh, okay, so this changes the amount of iterations. Okay, this changes the amount of the twist. Now what we want to do is we want to add another modifier, and that's what it was. He added a Bezier modifier or deform, right? Deform curve, object to curve, mask outline Bezier, deform axis, -Z. Y? X. Think Y. Yeah, Y. And then change up the amount of iterations to go all the way around. And now, let's see, the mask full. Okay. Yeah, getting a little bit of that David Yurman look, you know? Just click tab and let's actually scale. Or actually, no. Scale it down. It has a smaller size. Okay, cool. And then let's go back. Increase our iterations. Okay. And so now it's like, as you guys can see, we have that David Yurman design. And now for the representation of the squiggles inside of the piece, like the squiggly lines and all that stuff. Okay, so first shape that we want to draw is we are going to want to draw something. And again, I showed you some stuff like this. I think this is the first one I'm going to draw just to kind of see how it feels to draw that. So we're going to go like this. Surface, yeah. We wanted to snap to a surface. So we wanted to snap to this surface. And we're going to do something like that. Cool. Yeah, we're drawing directly on the face. So that's the beautiful part about this method is that I can just draw it directly on here. Okay. And so this is a nice little rough, but we're gonna work with this, see how that looks, right? So, but all right, so now let us go ahead and make this circle 001. What I want to do real quick is I probably want to go back into this mode and actually take these ends and just kind of like bring them in. Like, and this is still what, attached to the surface. Yeah, so we're gonna turn it off from the surface and grab it and kind of like move it in. And so that way these kind of like go into the thing or into the piece. Okay. So yeah, just going around doing that. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay. All right. So now we have the mask squiggles looking pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. They look pretty cool relative to the rest of the mask. It looks totally dope. Totally cool. This was a 1mm stone that I tried, but I don't think that that's gonna be big enough. Plus, I have more 1.5mm stones anyway. So what we're gonna do is we are going to go to my 1.5mm stone right here, and we are going to take it and okay, got you, thank you. We are going to take it and export it and import STL. So basically, I use Fusion to make sure that things are certain sizes that I need them to be. And then, you know, if they are, I'll bring them in this software over here. And okay, so one of the main issues that I already see that we're going to have is that this stone right here, it wasn't perfectly lined up in Fusion. In fact, that's where the that center line is. That's where everything lines up. So what we're going to first have to do is tab into edit mode, and we are going to, I guess, select a face and Control L to select everything that's linked. And then we're going to grab it and we're going to actually move it a little bit higher than that center line of the stone. And the reason why is because that's where we want it to like snap onto the face of the mask. We want it to snap a little bit higher because when we put in the prongs, they're going to need to be high enough to where you can cut away enough material to house that stone. In fact, I'm going to grab it and move it up just a little bit higher along my Z-axis, probably to about right here. Viewport display. Okay, boom. I just want to change the viewport display color over here to blue. And I'll, of course, change it to diamond later. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to apply a snap, and we want to snap the center to the face, to a face projection. We want it to move and rotate, and we want, yeah, align rotation to target. So this will align the rotation to the target, which will be this, basically this face. So I'm going to grab it. And now, as you can see, it automatically attached to the face of the mask, which is what we want. What I want to do is I first want to line up the stones, or the first set of stones, just with like the center of the mask. And so what that does is, let me see. Okay, I do like a little bit of space between my stones, but so what that does is essentially it gives me somewhat of a roadmap for how I have to make the pattern of the other stones, because again, this needs to be a hexagonal pattern, right? So And see, I might take this, pop back over into this every now and then. Now these stones are sitting above it, so that's exactly what I wanted to see. Okay. All right. And so now from here, it's just placing a bunch of stones. So that's all we're about to do. So because this is like a 3D surface and it's not like a smooth surface and everything, the pattern of the stones, you're just gonna have to kind of go with what feels best to you, you know? And that's really all this is, to be honest. All right, guys, so we just finished one side of it. Now we're gonna finish the other side. And again, still just doing the same thing, just filling it all out. I might honestly have it one side kind of be the pave and the other side just not be. In fact, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So one side is gonna be the stones and the pave, and then the other side is just gonna be just the metal. That's gonna be beautiful. That's going to be absolutely beautiful, guys. I think that's what we're gonna go with. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to add a sphere. And we are going to take this, grab it, Shift Z. And basically what I'm doing is I'm bringing it here so I can kind of see the sizing that I need. I'm going to scale this down. And we are going to go into this mode. Go into our X-ray view. And we are going to select all of these here. I'm gonna grab, bring this down to the Z like that. Okay, grab it, put where that origin is. That's how high the prong is gonna be. So I'm gonna kind of put it like this. We're gonna want the prongs to be a little high. All right, now let's go back to our little design and we're gonna click this and grab it. And now it snaps to right here. We don't really need to shade it smooth. These prongs are gonna be cleared up anyway when we're making it real life. So let's just go ahead and just start placing them everywhere. And as you guys can see, I'm just using a hexagon pattern as talked about before. And so that's all we're doing. Okay, so y'all see this one right here, and I'm just gonna show you guys this real quick. This one, because it curves with the thing, it's not cutting into that stone right there. So I'm just gonna go into like, you know, simple free mode and just kind of just rotate it so it's still intersecting that stone, but it's kind of like straight up. Yeah, and I'm just filling the negative spaces with prongs because again, those could be beaded, and when they're beaded, they'll like, you know, reflect light as if it was like, you know, a stone. And so, you know, just a little bit of metal finishing or finishing technique where you still get the shiny, glistering as if the surface was completely filled with stones. It's just that, you know, with certain size stones, it's just not possible to get the entire thing filled with, you know, certain sizing and everything like that. I know what to kind of look for as well with like cutting into the prongs and all that. Like, yeah, this one, you don't want too much of an overlap because then you'll have to cut too much, and you want the structural integrity of the prong to kind of stay in place as you're setting it. The play for that, again, I think you just have to, if you're a designer and you have no experience like setting stones or doing any bench work, it's kind of be hard for you to kind of like adapt to that and everything. But I mean, watch these videos more and kind of like see how I'm eyeballing the distances between how much the stones are cutting into these prongs, and try to get a feel for that, and then just try to replicate that, because that spacing doesn't really change much. You want to have enough material where it's not cutting in too much, because you're going to have to cut in a little bit anyway into the prong, a little bit more than what the, you know, the size of that stone is, or whatever we cut it out in the software, anything like that. Like, you're always going to have to do a little bit more by hand, right? And so it's like, you want it to where it encapsulates the side of the stone. You see how, like, you know that it cuts, but there's still ample material of the prong to where it doesn't sacrifice the structural integrity of the prong. And there's a specific feel for that you just kind of got to get used to. I don't know how to explain it. Okay. And that is how you guys do a pave set. Let's go ahead. Let's click all these diamonds. And let's see. We're going to press Control J to join all of these. So now all of these are one thing. Next thing we're going to do, take all of our prongs, all of these, Control J to join all of those. So now we have our prongs and our stones all together. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our mask full, going to go to our modifiers and apply our solidify modifier. All right, so boom, now it's a solid mesh. I go in, boom, solid mesh, solid everything. So I guess we can go ahead and turn these into meshes. To mesh. And that just applied all the modifiers. This one, to mesh. Okay. And then these, to mesh. Okay, and now I can go ahead and apply a Boolean. And we are going to do a union between this as well as our prongs. Okay, so it does have to be fast. Okay, and now I'm going to click apply. So now if I turn off the prongs, boom, no prongs. All right, cool. Prongs are attached. Next thing, because now that we have the prongs attached and these are our stones right here, let's go ahead and apply a Bezier or a Boolean. And do the union, and exact is okay for right now, and we're going to use our 1.5 millimeter diamonds to cut. Oh, my bad, guys. It's supposed to be the difference. Not a union, but a difference. Okay, I see most of them cut. Some of them, however, did not. Okay, so I had to just click hold tolerant, and with that, all of the stones cut out where they need to sit. And yeah. So now we have all the spaces and the places where those holes or where those stones need to be set. They're all 1.5. Exact hole tolerance. Self-intersection, I don't think we need to do that. And now we can click apply. There are some more things that we have to do now, but this is essentially what we have so far. So let me actually say I take this and let's apply silver to this.